Because we gon' push and mash, 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 for that money, we gon' push and mash.
Hey now, say now, it's Hustle Mom Martina with another episode of Mashing with Martina. And I have this beautiful lady named Bella the Stallion on my couch. I just wanted to introduce her and say hi to the audience, Bella.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? I'm here. It's me.
Yes, I want to ask you, where are you from?
I'm originally from Minnesota, Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I grew up there, was raised there, and I moved to Houston in 2021. So I've been in Houston ever since then.
So when you lived in Minnesota, did you live with a parent and a mother and a father?
Yes, I grew up in a two-parent household. I was adopted. My biological mother was a drug addict, and she lost custody of all of her kids, and I was the fourth child to be born. I never met her or any of my siblings. Don't know anything about my biological father. I can probably go find it, but that's something that I'm going to do when I'm ready.
Wow,
Yeah,
that is a lot.
it is.
So your life in foster care, was it good or was it a horrible experience?
I mean, I was in foster care for 6 months, from birth up until 6 months of age. After that, the adoption was finalized. The adoption should have not happened, in my opinion, after I found out all the stuff that went on with the adoption. But
How so? Explain.
my mom didn't have any of her own kids, so she adopted. My dad did not fill out any of the adoption paperwork. I found that out that my aunts are the ones that filled out all of his paperwork and he just signed it. So they ask you a series of questions. Why do you want a child? Your family history, all that stuff. And I just feel like if you're going to adopt a kid, you should be doing that yourself. Why you got somebody else doing that? They're not the one raising the kid. So that was a little ghetto. And honestly, if the courts found out about that at that time, I don't think they would have placed me with them.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
that is
'cause-
something. That was so unprofessional.
Very.
So, were you molested or anything when you were younger?
I don't recall actually being molested. However, my mom was being abused by my dad. My dad also sexually assaulted one of my relatives in my family, and my mom still married him. And I found all this out in my 20s and 30s that this happened while before I was even in the picture, and then come to find out that there was more stuff going on behind the scenes, and I'm just like, this is too much.
I find that quite disgusting.
I do
when
too.
somebody knows that this male is a predator and they still act like it's nothing. Like you said, she knew that he was a predator and she still carried on.
And then that ended up backfiring on all of us once she got sick. You know, when you get sick and you're married and you have a spouse and they're legally tied to you, the kid doesn't get no say-so unless you're on paperwork.
Right.
But there's no will or anything being done about power of attorney and all that. Guess who the rights go to? The spouse. So all the stuff that was going on with my mom, my dad had the control over it. And that's when all the stories about the abuse came out and the sexual assault and who the father was about.
And these are your adopted.
These are my adoptive parents. And my family, they're not happy that I want to talk about this, but I just feel like, you know, I grew up in a two-parent household, but somehow became a sex worker. How? But then when I look back at all the stuff that I was introduced to and was exposed to at an early age, on top of being a statistic of being a crack baby, now we know why we got this right now, you know? So.
Okay, well, I want to hear your story. After you got out of the guardianship, or did you get out of the guardianship? Did you graduate from high school?
I graduated from high school and everything. I stayed there until I was about 24. When I was about 23, I had a cousin come and tell me that my dad was the father of one of my aunt's kids.
Girl.
And they told me that, my aunt, another family member came and told me that they didn't tell me any of this because they didn't want me to run away. And I said, honestly, if I would have ran away, somebody would be in jail right now. If I would have ran away, because I would have went and said something. Because who the hell do y'all think y'all is to be playing in my face like this? Now I'm in my 30s and y'all want to tell me the truth? After everybody that's supposed to be accountable has passed away, my dad is still here. He hasn't been legally held accountable. So there was some legal things that were going on. And I just feel like he should have been in jail, and then the baby passed away. Yeah. I never got to meet my half sister. So she passed away before I was even born. We don't know where she's buried at. We don't know what day she was born on. We don't know anything. The only people that know that is the person that gave birth to her. And I'm just sitting here like, hearing that is very traumatic. I used to work in case management, and I also worked in law enforcement for 4 years.
Tell me about that.
Yeah.
Did you go through some type of training?
Yep. I went to college. I got 2 degrees. I have a law enforcement degree and I have a criminal justice degree. And the law enforcement degree was what you needed to become a cop in the state of Minnesota. So I got that done and I was pursuing it. But at that time, Minnesota was on some bullshit. I ain't gonna hold you. They was making it really hard for black people to get jobs up there, like putting people through hell, washing them out before they even make it through the door.
Right.
Once I resigned, I went and just did security. And I also became a case manager working with human trafficking victims. But while I was working in law enforcement, I wasn't like a real cop. I was like a community service officer, which we write tickets for parking and stuff like that. And it taught me a lot, but it didn't nearly teach me as much as working in the hospital when you see people that are sick and need help come into the hospital, or when you're working in a jail and you're watching women like myself, basically, and I'm not realizing that I'm one of them. I learned a lot.
So basically, you got treated unfairly when you were in the law enforcement.
I would say yes, but
in that state.
In that state, and I never pursued it after I left the state. I just felt like it's not a career that rewards you. It's not a career that you can be yourself. And as a black woman, we get so much ridicule. And when I was wearing that uniform, I was an Uncle Tom, a coon, a bootlicker, you name it. I was that. And I was like, how? When I fuck with the community harder than y'all fuck with your own community. So me resigning was some things that I won't go into details about, just because I still have respect for, like, the people that I resigned from. They helped me out a lot. They were there for me when my mom was sick after she passed away. And then when they found out about the stuff that happened with my dad, they were pissed. Because mind you, this man has been around everybody. He's been around my family. He's been around some of my coworkers. He's been around my friends.
So you was actually a po-po.
I was a flunky. That's what you call it. Like, is that what you call the person that does the stuff that somebody else don't want to do? Like the assistant.
So they treated you really unfairly and just had you as a flunky.
Basically, that's what that position was. I mean, you don't do the same, like, you can't pull people over. You couldn't do this, you couldn't do that.
What was your last straw to where you were like, I'm not gonna be a flunky no more. I'm tired of being a po-po. I'm tired of being the police.
They tried to write me up because I was in my 4-year program and I needed a day to work at the desk, not on the streets. I had a thesis statement to get done. And I asked one of the girls that was working at the desk, could she trade shifts with me so that I could work the desk and she can go on the streets? I need to get that paper done. So I ended up coming back to work like a week later, and they had a write-up for me saying I could either take the write-up and stay or I could leave. I said, I'm finna go. How dare she snitch on me and say that I wasn't sick? Like, I had a whole screenshot of her saying, like, what I asked her about switching the shifts and the holidays and all that. She went into roll call while roll call was going on and told them that I was not sick. I needed a day off for work. Could I have sued them for that? Because they said I misused my sick time. How? How do you know I misused my sick time?
Did you ever seek legal advice?
Nope.
So
I was afraid.
So you went from being a police to being a 304.
I was already dancing while I was in the law enforcement field.
Okay,
Yeah.
so tell me about that. How does that go? Like,
It was crazy because
this
I
is
ended up.
like a movie to me right now.
It's
You was the
crazy.
police,
Like, okay, so
and now you a 304. Tell me about it.
it's been a beautiful journey. Law enforcement, like I said, is very restrictive. Not saying that I wanted to live a double life, but just posting the wrong picture. Like if I post this right here on the internet and they see it, I may not get the job, right? So going from that to being a 304, I mean, they already knew I was dancing. I hid that I was dancing for so long. I didn't post it on the internet. I didn't tell nobody. I just went to the club, made my money, and left. Then people started posting pictures and videos of me on the internet, and I couldn't hide it no more.
So
I didn't even
how
tell
did that
my.
go? Did you walk in the office and everybody's like whispering, like on a TV show, and everybody's like, shoo, 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 shoo.
People
Was
were
it
like,
like
"You seen
that?
you
And
on
they
the
were looking at
internet?"
their phone and
Some of the younger guys that were like my peers, like that I worked with directly, they were like, "Oh, we seen you on the internet. We didn't know that you did that." And I'm like, "Don't tell nobody."
okay, another question. Have you ever got arrested for anything?
No, I got picked up for curfew when I was younger.
So have you ever like caught a case?
Not with no. The only thing I've had is like speeding tickets and stuff, moving violations, and a few parking tickets. The first time I had an undercover come in my room was in Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay.
And first of all, when I verified with him, I thought I seen enough. He got in my room, he sits on the bed, he's got all these clothes on. I'm like, can you put your jacket and stuff over there? Like, I need you to dress
Right.
down a little bit. He's like, I just want to sit here and rub on you. I said, sir, where's my gift at? I asked, where's my gift? He goes, oh, well, I'll give it to you in a little bit. So I'm like, are you sure you're not the police? He stood up. So my heart dropped into my stomach, like, oh, shit, I'm finna go to jail. And he pulled out a badge, and it said U.S. Marshals on it. I said, oh, I'm going to the feds. They coming to get me. So he was like, chill. He's like, I'm not taking you to jail because you didn't ask for no money, and I see that you're a grown-ass woman. You're not being held against your will, and you're not a kid. I said, okay. He's like, if it was anybody else, I probably would have taken your stupid ass to jail. But once again, you didn't do anything wrong. You did everything right. You did what you're supposed to do, and that's why we're not fucking with you. But a lot of girls, it's not always like that because they don't ask the right questions, And he was like, well, you verified? I didn't show you my dick.
Well, let me tell you something. That right there is a hard pill to swallow. You didn't utilize your police skills and let him know that, hey, I used to be a police and da-da-da-da, because that right there is a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, because if I tell him, like, I did, like, talk about it a little bit, but he was just
So
like...
you told him that you was a police before and that I'm just having hard
He still
times.
wanted to fuck with me.
But no, tell me, because I got too much game to go for that one.
He was just
You know what I mean? So
he
let's
was
keep
like-
it 100 and funky. So when you seen he was a decoy, you start popping your shit and start talking that police shit, and he was like,
No, I told him to leave. I said, can you please leave my room?
you didn't tell him that, damn, I'm going through hard times and I'm used to be a police.
I told him a little bit of that.
Come on, Bill.
I told
this
him-
is Mashing with Martina. Keep it 100 and funky.
I didn't want to
Like, girl.
I didn't want him to be like, oh, really? Where'd you used to work at? What department?
Right. And you could have gave him that
get to call in my
information.
department like, oh, did she used to work here? I was trying not to get, but then again, we in Mississippi. They're not doing all that.
So he let you go.
He let me go, and he was like, I want to keep in contact with you. And he was like, matter of fact, I'll give you the money right now. Fuck you right now. I said, you can walk out the door because
Right.
I'm not hitting those things with you right now. I said, it might be a setup. I don't know you like that.
I mean, set up like he just saved you.
He did
He
save
just
me.
let you go. I would have been like,
But
I'll
guess
talk
what?
to you.
Guess
But
what?
What?
I ended up seeing him when I came back. So
Exactly. Like, come on,
I
let's
said I
keep
owe
it-
him that because I'm like, he could have took me to jail. He could have been like, you solicitors and I'm taking you to jail. But when I seen him, we hung out and that was the end of that. And then every time I see him, he waves at me, he gives me a hug, and it's all kosher.
Right, that's cool to have a police in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? And you got some collateral on them.
Yeah.
So, have you ever been with a pimp?
I tried.
Okay, so how many times have you tried?
3.
And what happened with each one? Explain.
The first one, I just felt like he was just asking for
Okay, the
money
first one, where'd you meet him at?
in the strip club.
In the strip club. So you was in the strip club
Working.
shaking your ass.
Mm-hmm.
And so this dude got at you.
Yep, he told me that he was retired, but he was back in the game, and he's got this going on, and he legit person. But then he's like, but I'm trying to get some money. I ain't finna be in the club tricking my money. I need some money. I said, okay. So he put me on some plays.
Right.
And I broke bread with him.
Right.
Then he just started like.
You gave it all to him or just gave him
just
some?
I gave
him some, so he wasn't no pimping it. Okay.
No,
he
knew
no
that I
pimping.
wasn't gonna give him all my money because I'm afraid.
No. Let's just keep it 100 and funky on mashing with Martina. He wasn't no pimping if you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just took
and he was
some
still
of
tricking.
It.
He was tricking like.
Okay,
he was
so
tricking hard. Like he wasn't
that was
just
a perpetrator.
Yeah.
That was a perpetrator. Okay. So the second dude that you attempted to be with as your pimp.
It lasted all of a day. But the third one, that's where the story gets.
Which one was any of them some real pimping?
One of them was.
Which one was it?
The second one.
Okay, so tell me how did that happen?
Strip club, typically.
Okay.
Very good guy. I mean, he's got a lot of business. Like he has like legitimate businesses. All his girls that I've seen, he's actually elevated them, and they was turning over their money to him.
Okay, so how much did you give him a choosing fee?
No.
So he just took you?
He was just like, I just want to see if you're going to listen. And I'm just like, I'll try to listen. I have a hard time listening. I know I do.
And his girls didn't have no problem with you not giving them a choosing fee?
I'm still cool with all his girls. Like, here's the thing. When you know somebody...
What city did this take place?
I don't even...
I'm not saying no names, but what city
Houston.
did this?
All of these stories have happened in Houston because one, I didn't even know about pimps like that until I came to Houston. In Minnesota, they're very strict about pimps. If they find out somebody pimping up there, you going to jail, you know?
Right.
Yeah, when I was in high school, I had a guy that was related to some of the kids that I went to high school with. He went to jail for that, but I didn't understand what he did so wrong. And they were like, well, you know, he had an underage girl. I said, how old was the girl? They was like, she was 17. I said, okay, that sounds good and bad, but
how
what
old
else?
Was he?
He was like in his 20s and 30s. They was young.
Okay,
they
well then he was wrong because if you're not 18 years old, then yeah.
Somebody was just like, somebody snitched and this, that. I said, it don't take much to snitch or somebody to put the pieces together and realize something ain't right, you know?
Right, but yeah. Well, it would have never happened if he wasn't messing with a girl.
And I think that's what got him.
18 and over. If you're not 18 and over, and I think that you need to go on back to where you come from.
Like, we need to get you some services. Which is why that's why I've never had a pimp, because there's a difference between a pimp and a trafficker.
Listen, say that again.
There is a difference between a pimp and a trafficker.
Sex trafficker.
Yes.
Okay, because that's one of my pet peeves, because I feel like they utilize the name pimp and they infiltrate the ism community to be just assholes or rapists or mean to girls
and
or
that's why it was
sex traffickers and put girls on drugs and
don't feed them, don't take them to the doctor. They don't got no hygiene products, none of that. And that was one of the reasons why, knowing, like, coming from law enforcement, I know how to protect myself without a man.
Right.
Does it mean that it's easy? No. Sometimes I gotta be 10 steps ahead of him and he don't even know. Like, if you come in my room, you don't know where nothing is at. I know where everything is at. I know how my room is set up, and I know how to get you up out of here if I need to get you up out of here, you know?
Right. So in other words, you're a renegade.
Renegade, definitely. I guess I'm just gonna go with it. And some people don't like that.
Okay, but I don't have no problem with a renegade. But what was it that made you become a renegade?
Because of the fear of the sex traffickers.
No, because the first dude that you were with.
That too, but just, you know, knowing everything from law enforcement, they train you about these things, how to identify it. And I'm like, that's my worst fear, is being shipped over to another country with no ID, no nothing, or get kidnapped. I've been kidnapped before. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And that's because I made a renegade rookie decision.
Right.
And I went against the grain. And I hit a date in a car. I'll never get in the car again.
Right.
And my homegirl, my friend Yaya, she told me, she was like, if a man is doing something with you and that condom comes off, the date is over with. I said, so don't give him another one. She's like, not unless they, I said, okay. What my dumb ass do? I gave him another one, but this was in 2021.
You were green. You didn't know no better.
Green, but not that green. I should have known better because I've never went inside a stranger's car in the first place, unless it's an Uber or a Lyft. So me doing that, and then for all that to happen, I took my ass to the hospital. They tried to put me on a suicide hold. And somebody's like, well, that's what happened when you don't got no pimp. I said, man, you know how many women don't came up dead with pimps? Like, come on now. Like, it's sometimes it's just about moving smart and being responsible and knowing how to control somebody without touching them. Like, one thing in law enforcement is we're taught how to control people without touching them, giving verbal commands. So I've utilized those skills in my whole activities, like even in a strip club. Hey man, keep your hands right here. Don't touch me. Back up.
So you know what I like about this? Hey, like some people, like me, I use, my ism regulations. Mm-hmm. But you use your police regulations to regulate tricks. And
I do.
I'm not here to judge you, but I'm glad to hear about this story. This story is just really interesting to me.
Because
like you said, you still use your police, tactics, like keep your hands right here.
I'm searching you.
That is wonderful. And you are going to be wonderful at being a 304 if you keep using those tactics. But tell me more. I just had to say that.
You got to be safe, because think about it, if you fly somewhere, you may not have a gun with you. You may not have anything but some pepper spray and a knife. Somebody come in, with the situation with me getting sexually assaulted and kidnapped, this happened at a bar, and he took me down the street, and I told him, I got kids, please let me out. I don't have any kids. But I told him that. He looked at me, he said, get out. I said, because where were you taking me to? I don't know, but I didn't want to fuck around and find out. So by the grace of God, he let me out. I went to my...
So your police tactics didn't work when you got kidnapped?
Nope, it didn't work because
So
I was
tell
in
me
a
how
car.
that went. Just run that to me. Tell me that story verbatim.
Okay.
How did somebody even get you in a situation to where you got kidnapped?
So I'm in his car.
No, how did you meet him? Tell me.
I was walking into the bar, and he was in the parking lot. Oh, what's up with you? I said, what's up with you? He's like, I'm trying to spend some money. And I'm like, okay, let's talk. So we talked. So I'm going to say, we go to the car, we talking, and one thing happens, and I should have ended it and terminated that session right then and there. I let it keep going.
So you were being nice. You were like, okay, I'll let you go one more time.
Yeah, I was being nice.
See, a real 304 would never do that.
Exactly.
Like, you got to pay again.
Mm-hmm.
So another question I want to ask you, was he black or was he white?
He was black.
See, okay.
And one thing my homegirl said, she was just like, you get in the wrong car, you may not ever get back out that car. And after that shit happened, and I went to the hospital and I got the rape kit and all that stuff done, they were just like, well, do you want to press charges? I said, no, I don't. They were like, why not? I said, I just don't. Because if I tell them what happened, what do you think's going to happen with this, So
she's just a prostitute like they do
they're
with
gonna,
all the girls.
And that's the thing. It's like, am I a real prostitute?
Okay, so listen to this. So when he raped you, did he beat you? Was it?
No, he didn't stop when I told him to stop, because I realized he took the condom off that second time. The first time he lied and said it fell off.
So the first time when you did it, you should have been gone.
Yes, that I should have left.
You should have left, and you should have left him right where he was, but you had a heart. Mm-hmm. So
and that's
was his dick good to you? And you was like, let me go again.
Was this all at the same time? Or?
This is all at the same time.
All at the same time. So the dick was good.
The dick wasn't good enough for me to be getting kidnapped.
I'm saying, but it was good to you. To
Not
where
in the
you
car.
Were thinking
He was
like
big.
You were
He
thinking
was
like a police in the square, and you were like anything, and you was like, "Come on, I'll let you go again."
No,
another
I was
roll
more
in
so
the
feeling
hay.
like, well,
no,
you
keep
paid.
it 100.
I wanted him to get what he paid for, and he didn't get it because I felt the first time the condom. I said, hold on, so I gave him another one. 10 seconds later, that one come. I feel like, okay, you don't took the, and then he wouldn't stop. He kept thrusting, and he nutted inside of me. So I said, why would you do that? He was like, what you mean? I said, you just put your bodily fluids inside of my body without my permission. Do you know what that means?
So he aggressively just pushed himself on you.
Basically.
He didn't actually just
He didn't
beat you
hit me
and
or
rape
nothing.
you
He
and
didn't
kidnap
cause
you.
no physical harm to me.
So is that the first time that anything like that happened to you?
Yes. Very
So
traumatized.
nobody has ever took you and had you somewhere hid at another location or anything
No.
like that?
That was the first time that happened, and when it happened, I was stuck. I was like, man, I just want to clean myself off because I'm thinking about bodily fluids and how you should wash your hands and all
Right.
that. I'm not thinking about the fact that they need the evidence for the rape kit if I even press charges.
So the reason why you didn't press charges because you felt like I had no business over here hoeing anyway.
That's how I felt.
I'm already breaking the law, so how I'm gonna go and tell the law that I was selling pussy and
Because they're gonna ask, well, what happened? And I'm gonna be like, well, it's too many details.
Can I speak to that point real quick? With sexual assault, I know that this is a touchy subject, especially on YouTube. You know, I know that that's something that they are sticklers about. But I think you just kind of hit a good talking point when you made the reference to wanting to wash up after it happened. Could you kind of expound on that and let the women out there know, because this is a crazy world that we live in, not only for sex workers, but just for regular women, regular men that may come across a situation where they become a victim of a sexual assault. The protocols and steps that they need to take to make sure that they can file it in the appropriate manner, because I'm just thinking of a man that's never been sexually assaulted. If I was, my first inclination would probably be to go take a shower, right? Because I feel defiled. But apparently that's not what I'm supposed to do.
No.
So could you kind of give those steps?
From a legal standpoint, you can't, you can, hearsay is one thing, but you need evidence. In order to collect the evidence, you have to go to the hospital. They're gonna do a lot of blood draws. They're gonna take your clothes. They're gonna take pictures of you. They're gonna take pictures of your genitals. They're gonna do a lot. They're gonna take hair off of you. If you have any hair down below, they're gonna take pictures of that. They're gonna collect it. They're gonna do all these things. They're gonna have you standing on like a white sheet, and it's a lot, because if you never like watched somebody go through that, and when it becomes you, they're poking and prodding, asking you all these questions. They put me on they tried to put me on a suicide watch. And that's another thing. Be careful what you say to them, because they'll try to put you on suicide watches and make you look crazy. And then they're gonna give you all these medications. They're giving you medications for HIV, for STIs, Plan Bs, all these different things are going on within hours of the sexual assault. And they're gonna try to force you to like make that report, but you have to try to keep the evidence, because if you need to file like a police report and you've washed up and you threw away your clothes, if you even have any clothes, they're not going to get a lot of evidence off of you. That's why they say go straight to the hospital, because there's medications for those bodily fluids nowadays that if you do it within 72 hours, the risk of the transmission is very low. But if you don't do that and you wait, and you didn't get even if you did get the bodily fluids off, you still go get checked. That's law. You don't let that type of stuff happen and don't get no checkup after that. But when you go get that rape kit done, it's very intense. It can be very traumatizing and very degrading, because if you're talking about, that you are a sex worker, they are going to talk about you as being a prostitute. And then the cops, especially these men cops, like they're not good. They make it way worse. So you have to be headstrong. They have advocates that will come out and sit with you while you go through the process. But a lot of times, some places, they don't even have the resources for those. They'll send the cop out. The thing with me, I tried to make a report when I went for my 72-hour checkup. The police never came. And I knew at that point it wasn't meant for me to make that report. I took it to the chin. I took it as an L. I took it as a lesson learned. And then they were like, well, you should do it because you might save somebody else's life. I said, not necessarily. There's people out here that are doing that everywhere. Women get raped every day and don't say anything. They just keep going on with their life and they're afraid to report it. I wasn't afraid to report it because of the ridicule. I was afraid because of the self-incrimination part. I didn't want to self-incriminate myself. And on top of that, I was fine. Now, should I have reported it? In some people's eyes, yes, because maybe he'll do that to somebody else and he might take it further, and then my dumb ass don't. You got to do what's best for you. But definitely get that rape kit done. Don't throw away your clothes. Don't take a shower. Don't rinse your mouth out if there's some oral stuff going on. Don't do any of that. Just go to the hospital and let them do it, and then you go take a shower. Because if you need to report it or there was something violent done to you, the evidence collection and then the chances of even convicting them are going to go down, because they like playing with women, especially black women, when it comes to sexual assaults. So just take care of business and pray.
Yes, man, that was so good. That was some, excuse me, that was some very um, valuable information that you just gave all the ladies. And I hope that this would change someone's life out there that's watching this podcast. Once
Facts.
again, it's Mashing with Martina, and we have the beautiful Bella the Stallion sitting on the couch telling her real raw story. So, Bella, were you apprehensive about even dating black guys after that happened to you, or you continued to date black guys? Because you know some girls don't date black guys; they date only white guys because these type of things happen.
They happen with black men, white men, Asian men, Mexican men, all of. I mean, as a dancer, we get sexually assaulted every day, sometimes for free. And I said, listen, I'm not saying you don't touch my pussy and you ain't got no money in your hand. To me, if you go on the streets and do that, you're going to jail. In a strip club, you can probably get away with it because we're in a strip club. But I still want my money. And I tell guys, I'm like, can you go somewhere else and do that without them calling the police? Bitch, okay, bye. So when it comes to dating black men, I love black men. And I don't really see myself dating outside of my race. And I mean, we just seen what happened with that girl. She got killed by a white man. I don't really think a violent man has a face. Like, I just feel like it can be any race. Right. And I feel like, yeah, we might struggle with black men. Sometimes they put us through hell. Matter of fact, they do put us through hell. But I would rather deal with a black man that's got potential and trying versus a white man that has everything and he thinks that his money can control me. And then as soon as something don't go his way, he's ready to off me.
Okay, well, this is the question I want to ask you also. So, did you deal with this trick?
The one that sexually assaulted me?
The one that sexually
No,
assaulted me?
I never met. That was my first time meeting him.
I know, did you meet him on like some Tinder stuff?
No,
because
I was just walking. I didn't vet him properly.
Because like you didn't vet him properly.
I didn't vet him properly at all, and that was another thing.
But was you on some 304 or was you on some square shit, just going to the bar and you just happened to see a
I
trick?
was going out fishing at the bar, and I had on like this little short little romper. I was looking good.
Okay.
And so that happened on the anniversary for that is coming up on April 21st. This happened on April 21st in 2023. My mom was on her deathbed at that time. She passed away May 4th. As far as dating has not been the same for me no more. People can tell I have PTSD. People can tell that I'm on edge all the time and I don't trust them. I said I would rather be hyper vigilant than be dead, or fucked up out here.
Right. So right now you're dancing and just living your best life.
I wouldn't call it the best. Very. Yes, I'm living my best life while I was on tour because my homegirl taught me how to go on tour. And I got tired of being on tour just sitting around waiting for the money. I said, nah.
Waiting for the phone to ring.
Waiting for the phone to ring and hope that it's a real call.
So what did you do after that? You just started
I had already been studying about like locks and all that, doing the hair. And I was like, I've been doing my own hair for years. I grew my own edges back.
Right.
So I said, let me just see if I can just find a client. So on my ad, I posted, I do hair and I do locks and braids. And whoop-de-doo, now I got hair clients coming in off of the internet. I don't even know these people. They just want their hair done. And they were paying full price. I did my first retwist for $100. And I'm doing this while I'm on the road trapping.
So you're doing hoeing and doing hair? H and H?
Gotta do what you gotta do because I don't want to be in this lifestyle for the rest of my life.
That's right, baby.
And I was never even supposed to be here. I said I got into this by accident if you ask me.
So tell me the story about that. You got in this business by accident.
Because I was just dancing to get some money while I was in college. I wanted some extra money. I knew that I needed to save money and not, I had other expenses. I'm working a job, but $8.50 when you got other stuff to pay for ain't gonna go very far. So I'm doing amateur night. I'm getting money and I'm winning. I'm like, dang, keep throw that shit. Then I became a full-blown stripper. And then I lost my job. And then I almost became homeless. And my friend was like, what you trying to do? You either gonna go get the money or you gonna be fucked up.
So that's how you became 304.
That's how I started, because I think I was born a hoe. Swear to God, I think I was born a hoe. My mom taught me how to be a hustler, how to be a businesswoman. She was always selling lemonade, candy. I was in pageants, all that. She taught me how to make money. So when it came down to hoeing, I don't look at myself as a prostitute because I don't go, like I was running yesterday down the street, people thinking I'm actually hoeing. I'm like, I'm just trying to work out.
But do you know what prostitution is?
To me,
a prostitute is the act of prostitution. You know what I'm saying? It's the act. A man can be a prostitute. Everybody want to call themselves a 304, and you're not a 304 because a 304 is up under instructions. You know, and there's renegades. As you say you are, and I have nothing against renegades. I did a lecture about that before. Like, I believe something happened bad for a woman to become a renegade. Like,
absolutely, the trust to have for
exactly, that you trusted a man and you were like gung ho and ready to do this with them, and they weren't on the same page and they didn't stick to the script. And that's my analogy.
A lot of the game that
how they became renegades. It wasn't just because they woke up and wanted to be one.
No,
I feel
shit
like
happened.
Something bad happened.
Yeah.
I think some shit happened.
And my dad disowned me because he found out I was dancing and he found out I had OnlyFans. He called me a crackheaded prostitute. But he never once asked me, did anybody make you do this? Because if I had a daughter and I found out they're doing this, I'm like, are you okay? Everything good?
Did anybody make you do this?
Did anybody force you to? Let me know right now.
Did they though?
No. They adopted me.
Okay.
So he never once asked me, did anybody force me into this? Did I get anything? And I told him, once I found out that somebody went behind my back and told him what I was doing, because I didn't tell my parents that I was dancing. I told them I was a bartender because I do bartend. I have a bartender license. Yeah. That's none of your business what I'm doing to get my money because I don't even live in your household.
Absolutely.
So to find out that he knew and my mom knew and didn't say anything, they were hurt about it. My dad told me he was done with me, cut me clean off, and didn't even tell me that my mom passed away. All because I'm a 304. But I said the apple don't fall too far from the tree. And once he disowned me, that's when all the stuff happened with, like, all the stuff came out about how he was, beating my mom and all this stuff like this. And I said, you lucky I'm not a cop right now, because your ass would be in jail. I got enough evidence on you to take you down, but I have no power right now, so I can't do that.
This is crazy. This is like, you jump into being a police and then you jump into being a prostitute. It's like, bam, bam, bam. It's like,
and it's like, I didn't try to, but I lost a job. And at that time, like, this is right after my mom passed. I'm still grieving. I'm losing a job. Now I'm about to lose my place. My car is in repo status. DoorDash only goes so far. The dancing only goes so far, especially in Houston. I don't care what nobody say. You got to hit that road.
Can I ask you a question? When people meet you and find out that you used to be a police, do they be skeptical of like hanging around you, or
some do, but then
they like really don't trust you? Like they feel like you're cool, but we gotta watch her. She may be an FBI,
I feel like, yes, some of them have been skeptical, but a lot of them have done research on me and went and asked people about me, like, hey, who is she? She cool? She good people? And they also, it's just like, if I'm being honest about what I used to do, there are people that are walking around that are informants and snitches and you don't even know.
Right.
You don't even know. They on payroll and you don't even know.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, but I didn't start doing that until I worked at the hospital. But I was eating edibles because I didn't want to smoke.
Okay, so listen. So when you were being a cop, did you ever smoke weed?
No.
Okay, so you said that you were just on hard times and that's why you got in the business. You started dancing.
The dancing, like I said, I was dancing in law enforcement. So I was going to like the club sometimes after I would leave. And I was also doing bodyguard, like I was in security as a bouncer in the strip club. But when I would come in there as a customer, niggas was trying to give me money. So I said, what the fuck am I making $80 a night for when this nigga's in here trying to give me way more than that to take off my clothes instead of me going to the club dancing for free?
Right.
That's why I said I was born a hoe, because when I was younger, I said I would go outside, I was fucking niggas for free, all that. Now I'm like, I don't have anything against a woman that gets something from a man for having sex. People judge me all the time. They think I'm a dumb bitch. They think I don't have a brain. They think that I'm an op. All of that. But there are a lot of people who know I have a good heart. I take care of my people. I get money. I'm smart. I have multiple skill sets. I don't see nothing wrong with that, you know? But could I ever go back into law enforcement? Probably not. I don't have my car searched before. And me telling them that, they're like, well, why did your car get searched? And I'm gonna have to tell them, well, oh, so you do smoke. I don't feel like telling all that. Like, yeah, I do. And maybe I need to go to rehab now in order to get the job. Do you want me to go to rehab? But it's not worth it. I want to build my generational wealth. My family ain't passed me shit. There is nothing in my family that has been passed down besides pain and trauma. No property, no land, no car, no nothing. Just pain and trauma. All my family is divided. I refuse to go back and work for somebody else and not be able to focus on the things that are going to set me and my family up for something greater in life. Because I don't have kids, and when I do have one, I don't want my kids coming into this shit right here. Like, you know, dysfunction, trauma, poverty, all of that. Yeah, I grew up in a 2-parent household, but I still lived in some areas that probably weren't the best. I went to a high school. High school was very ghetto. I went to the high school in the hood, in the lows of Minneapolis. Gunshots every day, outside the doors. Kids having riots in the school, punching on teachers and all that. This happened, you know, and people, like, I was bullied and all that, and I'm just like, you know, when I was younger, I wanted to be the cop to save the community. But then I realized I don't have to put on a uniform to do that. I can just be me.
Yes.
You know? And when I became the case manager working with the human trafficking victims, I saved a lot of young girls. I had kids that was 12 years old getting recovered from trafficking situations.
So how long ago were you doing that?
This was in 2020 to 2021. And then
when you were doing that, were you still?
I was still dancing.
But you still was selling pussy.
I wasn't really doing that because, see, in Minnesota, different. It's not transactional. Does that make sense? Like, they like tricking up there. So there's really no need to put a price on it.
You are getting money for exchange for your time and your...
Or do I just like them? Maybe they don't spend the bag and I just want to fuck with them, you know? Is that considered hoeing?
That's considered being a slut, bitch.
No, so like I had one of my OGs tell me, she was like, as a grown woman, you should never be laying down with a man that's not providing.
Right.
So you can have a man for this, a man for this, a man for this. And they don't have to be fucking them all. They just need to be providing for you.
Right.
And she told me that at a young age. And I was like, you a hairstylist telling a teenager this? She's like, you can't be out here giving your body to men that
She was giving you some good game.
She was giving me good game. And that's why I said it's different up there, because I wasn't busting dates. I didn't start, Houston really is what kind of like changed things for me, because I was having dudes ask me how much. And I was like, what do you mean how much? That's how much of a square I was. I wasn't, if you couldn't ask me how much, because that to me was prostitution. That means I'm going to jail if you a cop.
Right.
Now let's talk.
But what if it was a cute dude now that you like? Because I know you like to get freaky.
I'm very freaky.
Okay, so now.
But I don't.
So you are one of them like girls that are called like a Georgia Tech, as my brother Reggie Rose calls them.
What is
like,
that?
That's like a girl that like to be freaky and see cute dudes and then fuck them and get they dick and then asking for some money afterwards.
That's how I used to be until I realized that was hoeing backwards.
Yeah, that's called hoeing backwards. But my brother, he's an old school dude. And he was like, that bitch a Georgia Tech.
What is it?
And I was like, what's a Georgia Tech? I'm thinking the school Georgia Tech. He was like, no, it's like one of them bitches who like use their sexual appeal to get a dude, but they fuck him first and then ask for the money afterwards.
That's dangerous.
Yeah,
That's
that's going backwards.
that I don't like doing that
So-
because I'd rather you just tell me what you want so I can tell you what I want.
So
And then
a lot of things that you're doing is an oxymoron.
yeah,
Like,
I'm ass backwards.
How are you being saving girls from trafficking, but you over here hoeing?
because
And then you a police, an ex-police, but then you over here dealing with domestic violence with your foster parents, and it's just a lot.
it's a lot, and I just feel like God is in control right now, and I'm not perfect.
Right?
But
Nobody's perfect.
But I also realize that everything you do, no matter if it's sucking dick for cash, shaking ass for cash, pimping, whatever, do it with good intention and do it with God.
And do it with integrity.
Yes, because if you're going to do it right. And that's why I said when I started doing the hair thing, that shit took off. I got hair clients in multiple states. When I post my ad when I'm on the road, we got truck drivers that need their hair done, oil and refinery workers that need their hair done, and they really do be needing their hair done.
Right.
And they'll pay.
Yes.
And I'm cool with that.
That is wonderful.
That taught me that I'm okay. I know how to maneuver. I know how to survive, and if shit get real, I can always go hit that pole again,
Never, ever put the pole out your life.
No, the naked hustle saved me. And that's one of the things I talked about on my Instagram. I said, what if I would have just sat there and let myself get evicted? What if
Right.
I would have never put my foot on the ground? Like, it's nothing to go out fishing and you find a guy and they want to spend some money. But,
You got to be careful, because
got-
look what happened to you.
Yep. And that's why I like to talk. I don't like moving too fast. If you talk too fast, hey man, I'm a Libra. You got to slow down. I cannot sit here and let you try to. I'm going to see you off camera, but it's.
Right. But
No.
I understand everything that you're saying, and it's a lot. And
No, because I grew up in the church, so of course my family doesn't like what I'm doing. The church people hate it. I don't talk to them anyways, but like I said, a lot of us black girls grew up in traumatic homes, traumatic families. There's a lot of PTSD going on, generational trauma, all types of stuff going on. And people talk about, hoes and prostitutes and dancers, but I said every girl that I know that is in the game has some type of bullshit happen to her as a child or a teenager. Or their mom was a crackhead and they lived with their mom, but their mom was selling them or something. Or their mom was letting them get beats. And that's not just girls, there's boys going through that too.
to all the people, the girls, the females or the males that went through that, God bless you.
Yeah.
But Hustle Mom Martina didn't go through that because I'm ism royalty. You know,
You the smart one.
I was no, it wasn't smart. It was just I was chosen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the chosen one. You know what I'm saying? For this ism. You know what I'm saying? Some people are chosen for certain things, and I didn't ask for this.
And I do think that I think what you said is a common misconception when it comes to that lifestyle. I think that's what's polarizing is, and I don't mean to say polarizing like it should be celebrated, but that's the, negativity spreads. So I think that's the story that gets put out there. Oh, if a woman is a working girl, she got molested or touched on, or daddy did something out of left field, or if a guy's in the pimp life, he didn't have any structure as a kid, but that's a very false narrative. I know a lot of people, and I'm just a hip square, but I know a lot of people that are in the lifestyle that never ever went through anything traumatic. It's just they looked at it from a monetary lens, But there are people that went through things.
Yeah.
And I think the propensity to get into it when you went through something as a youngster is greater to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a lot of successful people out there that have been molested, and they bury it and they hide it. It's people that are
because you
doctors.
can't dwell on you. It took me.
So it's just not 304s out there that have been molested and they became.
I think they just
304s
realized
because they got molested. It's square.
some of them are
people
just freaky bitches
that's been
and they
out
just like
there
to fuck.
and
why fuck if you're gonna fuck for free? You get paid for it, Or if you into dominatrix stuff, there are people that are willing to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for that. So I've had people like, "Oh, I want you to step on my balls." I am not stepping on your balls because no, I'm not doing that. It's some things I just won't do.
I have a poem called Privileged Sugar Daddy. And it's talking about beating a trick, and him paying you PPM, which is pay per meet, often, But it goes both ways, That is such a stereotype that, you've been touched or something bad happened, you become a prostitute, because I know some raw prostitutes that come from beautiful families that get to this money and run it like
it's
a business, you know what I
it's a
mean?
business. It's all
It's a business. Look at Heidi Fleiss. Her daddy was a doctor, and she was one of the number one madams in the world, in the country, because her daddy was a doctor. She already had connections. But on that tip, I just want to thank you for coming to sit on the couch and mash with Martina. So everybody, this is Bella the Stallion.
Yep.
And I would like you to tell everybody how to contact you.
So I have 2 Instagram pages. It's Bella_the Stallion. And then I have a hair page, Locks by Bella, and there's an underscore at the end. My page is public, it's open. Both of my pages, you can see pictures of me, so you know it's me. I have OnlyFans, still Bella the Stallion. So I have a few different things going on, but if you want to reach me, the quickest way is Instagram. I screen a lot of my messages and follow requests and stuff. You can definitely reach out to me if you want to talk, you want to do some content, whatever. Let's get to it. I'm open, skits, hair content. I was just in a movie that's on Tubi and Amazon, so that's a pretty big deal. All that stuff's on my page. I don't want to go into too many details about that, but you can find me on Amazon and Tubi now. So I'm happy. That was one of the good things that came out of dancing, I guess, making it to that.
Well, you have a beautiful personality.
Thank you.
After listening to your story, you still managed to have this beautiful smile and light up the room when you walk in. Mm-hmm. And I want you to look at the camera and give a girl out there that's been through what you've been through some type of advice. What would you say to her right now?
Become grounded, learn what discernment is, keep God close, and follow your guts and your instincts. God gave that to us for a reason. If something don't feel right, if it don't look right, it's not right. And that can go for anything. Work, a person, a pimp, kids, whoever. Pay attention to those things because you never know how it's going to come back, and, also be aware of your surroundings. I've listened to some of the stuff, how girls be on their phone while they're walking the blade. Pay attention to your surroundings because you never know when danger is near, and like I said, with my law enforcement stuff, it gave me an upper hand when it comes to safety that an 18-year-old girl that's fresh in the game may not have that unless she got some real ism. How many younger... Pay attention and listen to the people that are trying to give you the game. Because if you don't listen to them, you might end up on the news or on a t-shirt or something. And that's just the harsh reality of this game. Is not to be glorified and to be celebrated as something, I don't even know the right word. But if you're gonna do it right and do it with integrity, like Hustle Mom Martina said, because if you don't have integrity, you're not going to get those tricks that are senators, NFL players, and all that if you got fucked up morals and standards because they don't want to be around you. They got wives at home. You need to carry yourself as a lady, as a woman with class. And that's how you get the money. That's how you become a corporate hoe. So if you want to be a corporate hoe, that's how you do that.
Well, thank you for that good advice. That was some wonderful advice. So, yes, Bella the Stallion, mashing with Martina. And, we appreciate you being here. Thank you for coming.
For sure. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Because we gon' push and mash, we gon' push and mash.